bring that's either the school bell or the breakfast bell. I don't know if you're a hobbit and it's time for second breakfast or if you're in detention, but we are reading The Breakfast Club. We've all volunteered for detention tonight, so thank you everyone for being here. And our this is not easy detention. We have extra homework. We're gonna have to read a script. Oh no, not The Breakfast Club. Yes, The Breakfast Club. So let me introduce you to these horrible students that get in trouble, all these troublesome people right now. People using their phone in class. Put that phone away, Andrew. Uh-oh, what happened there? Okay, so introduce you. We got Brian, Angel Peterson. Tell them about yourself.
Hi, I'm Angel. Been away for a while. I got back for detention. And that's that.
Yes, if you want to graduate, you better be good. All right, next, Andrew, aka Rock Zane.
Hello, I'm Roxane, although tonight I'm Andrew. I'm an actor here in Central Alberta, also a social marketer for a health and wellness company. I do all kinds of things. Most recently, I started taking some aerial silk stuff. I might join the circus. You just never know.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's what
I'm in
happens when you
detention
get
for using my phone in class.
Yes. And see, you're not going to graduate. You might as well join the circus.
That's right.
Next, we got Vicky, Vernon, Carl, Brian's mom.
Yes, I'm Vicky Dykes. I'm from Central Alberta. I'm an actress, yoga enthusiast, and I am Vernon, who is not a student, Carl, who is not a student. I am not here for detention. I'm here to keep things in line and to clean up after these bad children. And in my real life, I have a dress rehearsal tomorrow night for an improv show that's on Friday. It's Improv Jelly in Red Deer, and I'm really excited. And yes, hey, you need to have a dress rehearsal for improv. Who knew? Now you know.
Right. There's Vicky laying down the law at school and then having fun afterwards. That's awesome. I'm a little jelly that I can't be there, can't be in that. That's awesome. Next, we have Kat.
Hi, I'm Kat Wilson from Gig Harbor, Washington. Never been in detention in my life, so this should be interesting. And in my spare time, which I have a lot of since I'm a stay-at-home mom, I have a million hobbies, including Scottish dancing and gardening. I just finished planting a bunch of bulbs. And of course, reading Shakespeare with 2 households in Fair Corona on most Saturdays.
Oh, exciting. That's awesome. When you said that planting bulbs, I pictured like
light bulbs, yes.
Light bulbs, but also the ones, the light bulbs that have like the little plant inside of them. But
yes, no, these will be pretty flowers. I think I planted about 3,000 of them. So
wow.
Yeah, as I said, crazy hobbies.
Wow. All right. And then freezing over there is Allison.
Am I freezing? Or am I just freezing cold?
Just Allison has a cold heart.
Okay.
Maybe we can warm it up throughout the script.
I didn't do anything to get in here. I just came of my own volition. My name's Erin. I am from Los Angeles, and I'm a voice actor. And tonight I'll be playing Allison, my favorite character from this movie. Thank you for casting me. Thank you for casting me as Allison. Originally played by Ali Sheedy. And that's it for now.
All right. You're just coming in to be around your people because you know they're going to be in detention.
And nothing.
Cool. And we have Morgan Toll.
Hello, I am Morgan Toll. I am a voice actor and actor in Los Angeles, California.
Woo woo. And Table Read Tuesday. Actor with everybody else. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We'll get started. I'm Jacob Patrick, and I'm reading action descriptions and hosting this of these wonderful, wonderful people that you should hire and work with because they're amazing. Share screen. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. And then we'll talk about the movie and stuff afterwards. The Breakfast Club by John Hughes. You know, there's things, I don't know how long this one took him. Oh, this is stuff to talk about afterwards, but how people say he sometimes wrote movies in a weekend. But we'll talk more after. That's just a little thing. Here we go. Blank screen against black. Title card. And these children that you spit on as they try to change their worlds are immune to your consultations. They're quite aware that they're going through what they're going through. Sorry, David Bowie. I did that horrible. I apologize. The blank screen and title card shatter to reveal. Exterior Shermer High School day. During Brian's monologue, we see various views of things inside the school, including Bender's locker.
Saturday, March 24th, 1984. Sherman High School, Shermer, Illinois. Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it is we did wrong. What we did was wrong, but we think you're crazy to make us write this essay telling you what we think, who we think we are. What do you care? You see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms and the most convenient definitions, you see us as a brain, an athlete, a basket case, a princess, and a criminal, correct? That's the way we saw each other at 7 o'clock this morning. We were brainwashed.
Interior Claire's car day. We see Claire and her father sitting in their car in the parking lot. Claire is the prom queen and is clearly a snob.
I can't believe you can't get me out of this. I mean, it's so absurd. I have to be in here on a Saturday. It's not like I'm a defective or anything.
I'll make it up to you, honey. Ditching class to go shopping doesn't make you a defective. Have a good day. Claire rolls her eyes and gets out of the car and walks up the school front steps. Cut to interior Brian's car day. We are in Brian's car. His mother is there, and so is his little sister. He is sort of a nerd.
Is this the first time or the last time we do this?
Last.
Well, get in there and use the time to your advantage.
Mom, we're not supposed to study. We just have to sit there and do nothing.
Well, mister, you figure out a way to study.
Yeah.
Well, go.
Brian gets out of the car and walks towards the school. Cut to interior Andrew's car day. So we see Andrew and his father. Andrew is clearly a jock. He's wearing a Letterman jacket with lots of patches on it. Hey, I screwed around. Guys screw around. There's nothing wrong with that, except you got caught, sport.
Yeah, Mom reamed me already, all right?
You want to miss a match? You want to blow your ride?
Now,
No school is going to give a scholarship to a discipline case. Andrew gets out of the car and walks into the school. Cut to exterior Shermer parking lot day. We see John Bender walking towards us. He is wearing sunglasses. The car is coming towards him, but he doesn't stop walking. The car slams on its brakes directly in front of him. Bender gets out of the frame. Out of the car steps Allison. She is dressed in all black. She steps forward to look in the car's front window, and the car drives away. Cut to interior library day. There are 6 tables in 2 rows of 3. Claire is sitting at the front table. Brian comes in and sits at the table behind her. Andrew comes in and points at the chair next to Claire at the front table. She shrugs and he sits there. In walks Bender. He touches everything on the checkout desk and takes a few things in the process. He walks over to where Brian is sitting and points to the table the opposite side of the library. Brian reluctantly gets up and moves. Bender sits at the table where Brian was and puts his feet up. Allison walks in. She walks all the way around the library and sits in the back corner table, just behind Brian. Andrew and Claire look at each other and snicker. Brian looks at her in confusion and then turns away. Enter Richard Vernon, a teacher. He holds a stack of papers in his left hand. He addresses the group with such disrespect it makes you wonder how he ever got the job.
Well, well, here we are. I want to congratulate you for being on time.
Claire raises her hand.
Excuse me, sir. I think there's been a mistake. I know it's attention, but I don't think I belong in here.
Vernon doesn't care. He just continues to talk.
It is now 7:06. You have exactly 8 hours and 54 minutes to think about why you're here, to ponder the error of your ways.
Bender spits into the air and catches the spit in his mouth again. Claire looks like she's going to gag.
And you may not talk. You will not move from these seats.
He glances up at Bender and points at him.
And you
Vernon pulls the chair out from under Bender's feet.
will not sleep. All right, people, we're going to try something a little different today. We are going to write an essay of no less than 1,000 words describing to me who you think you are.
This is a test.
Vernon passes out paper and pencils and takes no notice of Bender.
And when I say essay, I mean essay. I do not mean a single word repeated 1,000 times. Is that clear, Mr. Bender?
Bender
Crystal.
looks up.
Good. Well, maybe you'll learn a little something about yourself. Maybe you'll even decide whether or not you care to return. Now, Brian,
That's description. Action description.
You know, is it?
No, Brian raises his hand and then stands.
Oh, Brian raises his hand and stands.
You know, I can answer that right now, sir, because that'd be no. No for me, because
sit down, Johnson.
thank you, sir. He sits.
My office
Vernon points.
it's right across that hall. Any monkey business is ill-advised.
He looks around at them.
Any questions?
Yeah, I got a question.
Vernon looks at him suspiciously.
Does Barry Manilow know you raid his wardrobe?
I'll give you the answer to that question, Mr. Bender. Next Saturday. Now, don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
Vernon leaves.
That man is a brownie hound.
Everyone tries to get comfortable, and we hear a loud snapping sound. Brian turns and looks, and it is Allison biting her nails. Bender's eyes widen as he turns to look. Everyone is looking now. Allison notices them looking at her.
Keep eating your hand and you're not going to be hungry for lunch.
Allison spits part of her nail at Bender.
I've seen you before, you know.
We see Vernon look out from his office. We see Brian playing with his pen. And Brian
Who do I
quietly
think
says
I
to
am?
himself,
Who are you? Who are you?
he attaches the pen to the his bottom lip, and he puts the top under his upper lip.
I'm a walrus.
Bender looks at him in utter confusion. Brian notices this, laughs, and takes the pen out of his mouth, embarrassed. Bender and Brian begin to take their jackets off at the same time. They both notice this. Brian stops removing his jacket. Bender takes his all the way off. Brian rubs his hands together and pretends to be cold. He pulls the jacket back on. He turns and looks at Bender, who is still staring at him.
It's the shits, huh?
Bender glares at him, and Brian utters an uncomfortable laugh. Bender turns away and crumples up his essay paper. He throws it at Claire. It misses and goes over Claire's head. Andrew and Claire acknowledge it, but continue to ignore Bender. Bender starts loudly singing the musical part of a song. Na 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 na.
I can't believe this is really happening to me.
Bender stops singing abruptly.
Oh shit, what are we supposed to do if we have to take a piss?
Please.
If you gotta go,
We hear Bender.
We hear Bender unzip his fly.
Oh my God.
you gotta go.
Everyone is now looking at Bender. Disgusted.
Hey, you're not urinating in here, man.
Don't talk. It makes it crawl back up.
You whip it out and you're dead before the first drop hits the floor.
Bender gasps mockingly.
You're pretty sexy when you get angry. Grr.
He turns to Brian.
Hey, homeboy. Why don't you go close that door? We'll get prom queen impregnated.
Claire turns and glares at them.
Hey,
Bender ignores him.
hey,
What?
if I lose my temper, you're totaled, man.
Totally.
Totally.
Why don't you just shut up? Nobody here is interested.
Really? Butt face.
Well, hey, Sporto. What do you do to get in here? Forget to wash your jock?
Excuse me, fellas. I think we should just write our papers.
Look, just because you live in here doesn't give you the right to be a pain in the ass. So knock it off.
Bender mockingly registers pain in his face.
It's a free country.
He's just doing it to get a rise out of you. Just ignore him.
Sweets, you could ignore me if you tried.
Claire rolls her eyes.
So. Are you guys like boyfriend, girlfriend? Steady dates? Lovers? Come on, Sporto, level with me. Do you slip her the hot beef injection?
Claire and Andrew turn to face Bender, both furious.
Go to hell.
Enough!
Cut to Interior Vernon's office day. We see Vernon in his office.
Hey, what's going on in there? Smug little pricks.
Cut to Interior Library day. They all look at each other. Andrew turns away from Bender.
Don't beg.
Bender stands and walks over to the railing. He sits on it.
What do you say we close that door? Can't have any kind of party with Vernon checking us out every few seconds.
Well, the door's supposed to stay open.
So what?
So why don't you just shut up? There's 4 other people in here, you know.
God, you can count. See, I knew you had to be smart to be a wrestler.
Who the hell are you to judge anybody anyway? You know, Bender, you don't even count. I mean, if you disappeared forever, it wouldn't make any difference. You may as well not even exist at this school.
Bender probably is upset at this, and he pauses a moment before speaking. He doesn't let his emotions out, however.
Well, I'll just run right out and join the wrestling team.
Andrew and Claire look at each other and laugh at Bender.
Maybe the prep club too. Student council.
No, they wouldn't take you.
I'm hurt.
You know why you guys like you knock everything?
This should be stunning.
It's because you're afraid.
God, you Richies are so smart. That's exactly why I'm not heavy in activities.
You're a big coward.
Brian feels left out.
I'm in the math club.
See, you're afraid they won't take you. You don't belong, so you have to dump all over it.
Well, it wouldn't have anything to do with you activities people being assholes now, would it?
Well, you wouldn't know. You don't even know any of us.
I don't know any lepers either, but I'm not going to run out and join one of their fucking clubs.
Hey, let's watch the mouth, huh?
Brian again feels he needs to contribute.
I'm in the physics club too.
Excuse me a sec. What are you babbling about?
Well, what I said was I'm in the math club, the Latin club, and the physics club. Physics club.
Bender nods and turns to Claire.
Hey, Cherry, do you belong to the physics club?
That's an academic club.
So,
Academic clubs aren't the same as other kinds of clubs.
oh, but to dorks like him,
Bender points at Brian.
they are. What do you guys do in your club?
Well, in physics, we talk about physics, about properties of physics.
So it's sort of social. Demented and sad, but social, right?
Yeah, well, I guess you could consider it a social situation. I mean, there are other children in my club, and well, at the end of the year, we have a big banquet at the Hilton.
You load up, you party.
Well, no, we get dressed up. I mean, but we don't we don't get high.
Only burners like you get high.
And well, I didn't have any shoes, so I had to borrow my dad's. Well, it was kind of weird because my mom doesn't like me to wear other people's shoes. And well, my cousin Kendall from Indiana, well, he got high once, and he started eating like really weird foods, and then he just felt like he didn't belong anywhere, like kind of like, well, Twilight Zone kind of.
Sounds like you.
Look, you guys keep up your talking and Vernon's going to come right in here. I got to meet this Saturday and I'm not going to miss it on account of you boneheads.
Oh, wouldn't that be a bite? Ugh, missing a whole wrestling meet.
Well, you wouldn't know anything about it, faggot. You never competed in your whole life.
Oh, I know. I feel all empty inside because of it. I have such a deep admiration for you guys that roll around the floor with other guys.
You'd never miss it. You don't have any goals.
Oh, but I do.
Yeah?
I want to be just like you. I figure all I need is a lobotomy and some tights.
Brian becomes interested.
You wear tights?
No, I don't wear tights. I wear the required uniform.
Tights.
Shut up.
They hear Vernon moving around out in the hall, so Bender quickly comes and sits in the chair between Claire and Andrew. He folds his hands on the table. Vernon goes back into his office. Bender laughs and gets up. He starts walking towards the double doors that separate the library from the hallway.
There's not supposed to be any monkey business.
Bender turns and points at Brian.
Young man, have you finished your paper?
Bender turns back and goes to the door. He looks around cautiously and removes a screw from the door.
What are you going to do?
Drop dead, I hope.
Cut to interior hallway day. We see Vernon getting a drink at the fountain. He stands up and checks the way he looks in the mirror. He does a muscular pose and utters some manly gibberish. Kabadonga. Cut to interior library day. Brian looks up. Bender is messing with the door to the library.
Bender, that's school property there. It doesn't belong to us. That's not something to be toyed with.
The door slams shut. Bender runs back to his seat.
That's very funny. Come on, fix it.
Well, you should really fix that.
My genius.
No, you're an asshole.
What a funny guy.
Fix the door, Bender.
Everyone just shh.
Cut to interior hallway day. We see Vernon walking back to his office. He stops and listens to them through the closed door.
I've been here before. I know what I'm doing.
No, fix the door. Get up there and fix it.
Shut up.
Cut to interior library day. We see Brian as we hear Vernon in the hall.
God damn it.
He opens the door and storms in.
Why is that door closed?
For a few seconds, no one says anything. They just stare at Vernon.
Why is that door closed?
How are we supposed to know? We're not supposed to move, right?
Vernon turns to Claire.
Why?
We were just sitting here like we're supposed to.
Vernon looks around and looks at Bender.
Who closed that door?
I think a screw fell out of it.
It just closed, sir.
Vernon looks at Allison in the back.
Who?
Allison lets out a squeak and slams her face onto the table, hiding in her jacket hood.
She doesn't talk, sir.
Okay. Give me that screw.
I don't have it.
You want me to yank you out of that seat and shake it out of you?
I don't have it. Screws fall out all the time. The world's an imperfect place.
Oh, okay, give it to me, Bender.
Excuse me, sir. Why would anyone want to steal a screw?
Watch it, young lady.
Vernon goes over to the door. He tries to hold it open by putting a folding chair in front of it.
The door's way too heavy, sir.
The door slams shut despite the chair.
Oh, God damn it.
They laugh, and Vernon opens the door again. He comes back in.
Andrew Clark, get up here. Come on, front and center. Let's go.
Andrew gets up and walks over to Vernon.
Hey, how come Andrew gets to come up? If he gets up, we all get up. It'll all be anarchy.
Vernon and Andrew are now attempting to move the steel magazine rack in front of the door.
Okay, now, watch the magazines.
It's out of my hands.
They get it into the doorway and it blocks the entire door.
That's very clever, sir. But what if there's a fire? I think violating fire codes and endangering the lives of children would be unwise at this juncture in your career, sir.
Vernon thinks about it. He turns to Andrew.
All right. What are you doing with this? Get this out of here. Oh, for God's sake. What's the matter with you? Oh, come on.
You know, the school comes equipped with fire exits at either end of the library.
Brian points at them and Blender glares at him. Flicks.
Show Dick some respect.
Andrew and Vernon come back to the main section of the library.
Let's go. Go. Now, get back into your seat.
Andrew sits.
I expected a little more from a varsity letterman. And you're not fooling anybody, Bender. The next screw that falls out is gonna be you.
Vernon turns to leave.
Eat my shorts.
Vernon spins in his tracks and faces Bender again.
What was that?
Eat my shorts.
Oh, you just bought yourself another Saturday, mister.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, you just bought one more right there.
Well, I'm free the Saturday after that. Beyond that, I'm gonna have to check my calendar.
Oh, good, because it's going to be filled. Oh, we'll keep going. You know, you want another one? Hey, say the word. Just say the word. Instead of going to prison, you'll come here. Are you through?
No.
Oh, I'm doing society a favor.
So?
That's another one right now. Okay, I've got you for the rest of your natural born life if you don't wash your step. You want another one?
Yes.
Oh, you got it. Oh, you got another one right there. Oh, that's another one, pal.
Cut it out.
Claire mouths the word stop to Bender.
You through?
Not even close, bud.
Oh, good. Oh, you got one more right there.
Do you really think I give a shit?
Another.
Bender glares at him.
You through?
How many is that?
That's 7, including the one when we first came in and you asked Mr. Vernon here whether Barry Manilow knew that he raided his closet.
Now it's 8. You stay out of it.
Excuse me, sir. It's 7.
Shut up, Pee-wee. Okay, you're mine, Bender, for 2 months. I gotcha.
What can I say? I'm thrilled.
Oh, I'm sure that's exactly what you want these people to believe. I mean, you know something, Bender? You ought to spend a little more time trying to do something with yourself and a little less time trying to impress people. I mean, you might be better off. All right, that's it. I'm going to be right outside those doors. The next time I have to come in here, I'm going to crack skulls.
Vernon leaves and closes the door. A musical riff builds to a climax as Bender screams.
Fuck you.
We see the clock. It reads 7:45. We see Bender lighting his shoe on fire and lighting a cigarette with his shoe. We see Claire thinking. We see Brian playing with his balls. We see Andrew playing with a sweatshirt. We see Allison pulling a string around her finger and making it turn purple. We see Bender putting the flames on his shoe out. He then plays air guitar. We see Allison drawing. We see Andrew playing paper football. He chairs silently. Allison shakes dandruff from her hair onto her picture. We see everyone fall asleep. Cut to interior library day. Later, Vernon is standing there staring at the sleeping kids.
Wake up! Who has to go to the lavatory?
Everyone raises their hands. Cut to interior library day. Later, we see the clock. It now says 10:22. We see Andrew stretching. We see Bender tearing pages out of a book. He is tossing them around.
That's real intelligent.
You're right. It's wrong to destroy literature. It's such fun to read, and Molay really pumps my gnats.
Moliere.
I love his work.
Bender tosses the rest of the pages at Brian. He picks up the card catalog drawer and begins to take cards out.
Big deal. Nothing to do when you're locked in awakening.
Speak for yourself.
Do you think I'd speak for you? I don't even know your language.
Andrew turns to Claire.
Hey, you grounded tonight?
Claire shrugs.
I don't know. My mom said I was, but my dad told me to just blow her off.
Big party at Stubby's. Parents are in Europe. Should be pretty wild.
Yeah,
Yeah. Can you go?
I doubt it.
And how come?
Well, because if I do what my mother tells me not to do, it's because my father says it's okay. There's like this whole big monster deal. It's endless and it's a total drag. It's like any minute, divorce.
Who do you like better?
What?
You like your old man better than your mom?
They're both strict.
No, I mean, if you had to choose between them.
I don't know. I'd probably go live with my brother. I mean, I don't think either one of them gives a shit about me. It's like they use me just to get back at each other.
Suddenly, from the back of the room, Allison speaks.
Ha!
Everyone looks at her, shocked. Allison blows her hair out of her eyes again.
Shut up.
You're just feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah, well, if I didn't, nobody else would.
Ah, you're breaking my heart.
Sporto,
What?
Bender jumps down and goes to Andrew.
you get along with your parents?
Well, if I say yes, I'm an idiot, right?
You're an idiot anyway. But if you say you get along with your parents, well, you're a liar too.
Bender turns and walks away from him. Andrew follows and pushes Bender.
You know something, man? If we weren't in school right now, I'd waste you.
Bender points his middle finger at the floor.
Can you hear this? Want me to turn it up?
Bender flips his hand around. He's now giving Andrew the bird. Brian comes over and puts his hand on each of the guy's shoulders.
Hey, fellas. I mean,
Andrew pushes away from Brian.
I don't like my parents either. I don't. I don't get along with them. Their idea of parental compassion is just, wacko.
Bender turns to Brian.
It work.
Yeah?
You are a parent's wet dream, okay?
Bender starts to walk away.
Well, that's a problem.
Look, I can see you getting all bunged up for them making you wear these kind of clothes, but face it, you're a neo-maxi zoom dweeby. What would you be doing if you weren't out making yourself a better citizen?
Why do you have to insult everybody?
I'm being honest, asshole. I would expect you to know the difference.
Yeah, well, he's got a name.
Yeah?
Yeah. What's your name?
Brian,
See?
My condolences.
Bender walks away.
What's your name?
What's yours?
Claire.
Claire.
Claire. It's a family name.
No, it's a fat girl's name.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not fat.
Well, not at present, but I could see you really pushing maximum density. You see, I'm not sure if you know this, but there are two kinds of fat people. There's fat people that are born to be fat, and then there's fat people that were once thin and then they became fat. So when you look at them, you can sort of see the thin person inside. You see, you're going to get married, you're going to squeeze out a few puppies, and then,
He minds getting fat, making noises. Claire gives him the finger.
oh, obscene finger gestures for such a pristine girl.
I'm not that pristine.
Bender bends down closer to Claire.
Are you a virgin? I'll bet you $1 million that you are. Let's end the suspense. Is it going to be a white wedding?
Why don't you just shut up?
Have you ever been kissed? Have you ever kissed a boy on the mouth? Have you ever been felt up? Over the bra, under the blouse, shoes off, hoping to God your parents don't walk in?
Claire is getting upset.
Do you want me to puke?
Over the panties, no bra, blouse unbuttoned, Calvin's in a ball in the front seat past 11 on a school night?
Alone.
Bender slowly stands and faces Andrew.
I said, leave her alone.
You gonna make me?
Yeah.
Bender walks over where Andrew is standing.
You and how many of your friends?
Just me. Just you and me. 2 hits. Me hitting you, you hitting the floor. Anytime you're ready, pal.
Bender goes to hit him, and Andrew gets Bender down on the ground with a wrestling move.
I don't want to get into this with you, man.
Andrew gets up.
Why not?
Bender gets up.
Because I'd kill you. It's real simple. I'd kill you, and your fucking parents would sue me, and it would be a big mess, and I don't care enough about you to bother.
Oh, chicken shit.
Andrew turns and walks away. Bender takes out a switchblade and opens it. He stabs a switchblade into the chair.
Let's end this right now. You don't talk to her. You don't look at her. And you don't even think about her. You understand me?
I'm trying to help her.
We see a janitor, Carl, come into the room.
Brian, how you doing?
Your dad works here?
Brian is
Brian
embarrassed.
is embarrassed.
Carl,
What?
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How does one become a janitor?
And Carl says back.
You want to be a janitor?
No, I just want to know how one becomes a janitor, because Andrew here is very interested in pursuing a career in custodial arts.
Oh, really? Well, you guys think I'm just some untouchable peasant? Peon? Huh? Maybe so. But following a broom around after shitheads like you for the past 8 years, I've learned a couple of things. I look through your letters. I look through your lockers. I listen to your conversations. You don't know that, but I do. I am the eyes and ears of this institution, my friends. And by the way, that clock's 20 minutes fast.
Everyone groans. Bender smiles.
Shit.
Cut to interior Vernon's office day. The clock says 11:30. Vernon gets up and leaves. Cut to interior library day. Bender starts to whistle a marching tune and everybody joins in. Vernon enters. Bender begins to whistle Beethoven's.
All right, girls. That's 30 minutes for lunch.
Here?
Here.
Well, I think the cafeteria would be a more suitable place for us to eat lunch in, sir.
Well, I don't care what you think, Andrew.
Dick, excuse me, Rich, will milk be made available to us?
We're extremely thirsty, sir.
I have very low tolerance for dehydration.
I've seen her dehydrate, sir. It's pretty gross.
Bender stands.
Relax, I'll get it.
You grab some wood there, bub.
Bender grins.
And what do you think? I was born yesterday? You think I'm going to have you roaming those halls? You. And you. Hey, what's your name? Wake up. Wake her up. Come on your feet, Missy. Let's go. This is no restroom.
Allison gets up.
There's a soft drink machine in the teacher's lounge. Let's go.
Interior hallway day. Andrew and Allison are walking in the hall.
So, what's your poison?
Allison doesn't answer.
What do you drink?
Allison still doesn't answer.
Okay. Forget I asked.
Allison waits for 2 beats and then speaks.
Vodka.
Vodka? When do you drink vodka?
Whenever.
A lot?
Allison smiles.
Tons.
Is that why you're here today?
Allison doesn't answer.
Why are you here?
Allison snaps back.
Why are you here?
They stop walking, and Andrew leans against the wall.
I'm here today because my coach and my father don't want to see me blow my ride. See, I get treated differently because a coach thinks I'm a winner. So does my old man. I'm not a winner because I want to be one. I'm a winner because I got strength and speed, kind of like a racehorse. That's about how involved I am in what's happening to me.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Now, why don't you tell me why you're really in here?
Forget it. Forget it.
Interior library day. Claire and Bender and Brian are all sitting around and waiting for their cokes.
Blair, you want to see a picture of a guy with elephantitis of the nuts? It's pretty tasty.
No, thank you.
How do you think he rides a bike?
Claire rolls her eyes and turns away in disgust.
Oh, Claire, would you ever consider dating a guy like this?
Can't you just leave me alone?
I mean, if he had a great personality and was a good dancer and had a cool car, although you'd probably have to ride in the back seat because his nuts would ride shotgun.
You know what I wish I was doing?
Oh, watch what you say. Brian here is a cherry.
Cherry?
I wish I was on a plane to France.
I'm not a cherry.
When have you ever gotten laid?
I've laid lots of times.
Name one.
She lives in Canada. Met her at Niagara Falls. You wouldn't know her.
Ever laid anyone around here?
Brian shushes Bender and points at Claire, whose back is still turned.
Oh, you and Claire did it?
Claire spins around.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Let's just drop it. We'll talk about it later.
No, drop what? What are you talking about?
Well, Brian's trying to tell me that in addition to the number of girls in the Niagara Falls area, that presently you and he are riding the hobby horse.
Little pig.
No, I'm not. John said I was a cherry, and I said I wasn't. That's it. That's all that was said.
Well, then what are you motioning to Claire for?
You know, I don't appreciate this very much, Brian.
He is lying.
Oh, you weren't motioning to Claire.
You know he's lying, right?
Were you or were you not motioning to Claire?
Yeah, but it was only because I didn't want her to know that I was a virgin, okay?
Bender stares at him.
Excuse me for being a virgin. I'm sorry.
Why didn't you want me to know you were a virgin?
Because it's personal business. It's my personal, private business.
Well, Brian, it doesn't sound like you're doing any business.
I think it's okay for a guy to be a virgin.
Bender looks surprised.
You do?
Claire smiles and nods. Cut to interior library day. Later, everyone has lunches now. Claire begins to take hers out of a small shopping bag.
What's in there?
Guess. Where's your lunch?
You're wearing it.
Oh, you're nauseating.
Bender grabs a Coke and tosses it over to Allison, who catches it without even looking up. Bender then watches Claire set up a sushi platter.
What's that?
Sushi.
Sushi?
Rice, raw fish, and seaweed.
You won't accept a guy's tongue in your mouth and you're going to eat that?
Can I eat?
I don't know. Give it a try.
We now watch Andrew take a couple sandwiches out of his bag. A bag of potato chips, an apple, a banana, and a bag of cookies and a carton of milk. Allison opens her Coke and it fizzes over. She loudly slurps it off the table and her fingers. Andrew sees Bender looking at him.
What's your problem?
Allison opens her sandwich and tosses the meat up. It lands on the sculpture above. She opens some pixie sticks and pours the sugar on the sandwich and then puts Captain Crunch on top of that. She crushes the sandwich together and loudly eats it. Bender goes off and sits by Brian. Bender takes Brian's bag lunch.
What are we having?
It's your standard regular lunch, I guess.
And Bender reaches in the bag and pulls out a thermos. He sets it on the table and points at it.
Milk?
Soup.
Bender goes in again and pulls out a juice box. Brian reaches towards the bag and Bender slaps his hand.
That's apple juice.
I can read. PB&J with the crust off. Well, Brian, this is a very nutritious lunch, and all the food groups are represented. Did your mom marry Mr. Rogers?
No, Mr. Johnson.
Ah,
Andrew and Claire smile at each other. Bender stands.
here's my impression of life at the Big Breeze house. Son? Yeah, Dad? How's your day, pal? Great, Dad. How's yours? Super. Say, son, how do you like to go fishing this weekend? Great, Dad, but I've got homework to do. That's all right, son. You can do it on the boat. Gee, dear, isn't our son swell? Yes, dear. Isn't life swell?
And Bender mimes mother and father kissing, and then the father kissing mother, and then the father punching mother in the face. Then suddenly it's not so funny anymore.
All right. What about your family?
Oh, mine?
That's real easy.
Bender stands again and points forward.
Stupid, worthless, no good, goddamn, freeloading son of a bitch, retarded, big mouth, know it all, asshole jerk. You forgot ugly, lazy, and disrespectful.
Bender slams his hand back to slap the invisible mother.
Shut up, bitch. Go fix me a turkey pot pie. What about you, Dad? Fuck you. No, Dad, what about you? Fuck you. No, Dad, what about you? Fuck you.
He reaches out and pretends his father is hitting him.
Is that for real?
You want to come over sometime?
That's bullshit. It's all part of your image. I don't believe a word of it.
Bender actually looks hurt.
You don't believe me?
No.
No?
Did I stutter?
Bender comes over to Andrew and rolls up his right sleeve to reveal a circular shaped burn.
Do you believe this? Huh? It's about the size of a cigar. Do I stutter? You see, this is what you get in my house when you spill paint in the garage.
Bender begins to walk away.
See, I don't think that I need to sit here with you fucking dildos anymore.
Bender walks over to a map table and throws all the maps on the floor. He climbs up on top of the table and then up to the second floor balcony.
You shouldn't have said that.
Well, how would I know? I mean, he lies about everything anyway.
Interior Vernon's office. Vernon puts an orange in his mouth and then attempts to pour coffee out of his thermos. The top comes off and the coffee goes all over his desk.
Oh, shit.
And according to our cast sheet, this is the intermission time. You guys want to take a little intermission? All right. Let's see you guys on the 30. That's 30, folks. All right. Two more. One more.
Gypsy's probably taken her away.
I'm missing my little conehead dog, and I think he's stuck somewhere because I can hear
Oh,
her
no.
barking.
Oh
I think he's got his cone stuck under the bed.
You gotta bring the camera
No.
with you.
no. Oh,
Go rescue Pooch.
yeah. Little guy.
See, that's life giving you the scenes you might not think of to write if it didn't happen to you.
Yeah.
So cute.
What happened to him?
That's where he was, stuck under the bed. Here he is.
Aw.
He had a lump removal on his back leg.
Uh,
He won't leave it alone, so he's stuck in his cone till the stitches heal.
aw.
But he's so cute. But yeah, he got himself stuck under the bed.
Hi, Mulder, too.
Wow, Aaron, your dog looks so much like Morgan.
This is Mulder too.
Mulder number
The aliens are cloning the cute dogs to take over the world. All right, we are back. Ready to continue? All right, lunch is over for detention. We gotta continue. So, interior hallway day. Vernon walks into the hallway talking to himself. Coffee looks like they scrape off the bottom of the Mississippi River. Oh, why am I doing that? Sorry. Vernon walks into the hallway talking to himself.
Coffee. Looks like they scraped it off the bottom of the Mississippi River. Everything's polluted. Everything's polluted. The coffee.
Bender comes out of the library doors, followed by everyone else. Bender and Claire are walking next to each other. Brian and Andrew are walking next to each other, and at the end of the line, Allison is following.
How do you know where Vernon went?
I don't.
Well, then how do you know when he'll be back?
I don't. Being bad feels pretty good, huh?
What's the point in going to Bender's locker?
Meets me.
This is so stupid. Why are we risking getting caught?
I don't know.
So then what are we doing?
You ask me one more question, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
Sorry.
Bender opens his locker.
Slob.
My maid's on vacation.
Bender pulls out a bag of marijuana.
Drugs.
Screw that, Bender. Put it back.
Bender walks away.
Drugs. The boy had marijuana.
Claire walks after Bender.
That was marijuana.
Shut up.
Andrew follows the other two. Brian looks at Allison, who is standing there with her mouth open.
Do you approve of this?
Brian turns and leaves. Allison stares the lock off of Bender's locker. We see the crowd walking down the hall.
We'll cross to the lab and then we'll double back.
You better be right. If Vernon cuts us off, it's your fault, asshole.
What do you say? Where are we going?
They see Vernon down one of the halls. We have various sequences of them running around and seeing Vernon until they stop.
Wait, hold it. We have to go through the cafeteria.
No, the activities hall.
Hey, man, you don't know what? You don't know what you're talking about.
No, you don't know what you're talking about.
Allison squeaks.
Now, we're through listening to you. We're going this way.
They all go Andrew's way and run into a hall closed by an iron gate.
Shit!
Great idea, Jagoff.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Why didn't you listen to John?
We're dead.
No, just me.
What do you mean?
Get back to the library. Keep your unit on this.
Bender puts his bag of marijuana into Brian's underwear. Bender runs away singing loudly, I want to be an airborne ranger. We see Vernon hear Bender. The rest of them run.
That son of a bitch.
We see Vernon looking around for Bender until he finds him in the gym. Bender is going up for a basket.
3, 2, 1.
He dunks the ball. Vernon enters.
Bender. Hey, Bender. Bender, what is this? What are you doing here? What is this?
Oh, hi.
Out. That's it, Bender. Out. It's over.
Does you want to hear my excuse?
Out.
I'm thinking of trying out for a scholarship.
Give me the ball, Bender.
Bender fakes the ball at Vernon. Then he sets the ball down and he rolls it at Vernon, who kicks it back at him. They leave. Cut to interior library day. The rest of the kids are all sitting back in their seats when Bender and Vernon enter. Vernon pushes Bender.
Get your stuff. Let's go. Mr. Wise Guy here has taken it upon himself to go to the gymnasium. Now, I'm sorry to inform you, you're going to be without his services for the rest of the day.
Boo-hoo.
Everything's a big joke, hey, Bender? The false alarm you pulled Friday? False alarms are really funny, aren't they? What if you're home? What if your family? What if your dope was on fire?
Impossible, sir. It's in Johnson's underwear.
Andrew laughs.
You think he's funny? I mean, you think this is cute? You think he's bitching? Is that it? Let me tell you something. Look at him. He's a bum. Oh, you want to see something funny? You go visit John Bender in 5 years. You'll see how goddamn funny he is. What's the matter, eh, Johnny? Eh? You gonna cry? Let's go.
And I'm lost.
Stage directions. Vernon grabs Bender's shoulder.
Hey, you keep your fucking hands off me. I expect better manners from you, Dick.
Bender takes his sunglasses out of his pocket and lays them in front of Andrew.
For better all-way vision.
Bender leaves, but not before pushing stuff over on the way. Interior closet day. Vernon has Bender in a closet and is sitting there talking to him.
That's the last time, Bender. That's the last time you ever make me look bad in front of those kids. Do you hear me? I mean it. $31,000 a year, and I have a home, and I'm not about to throw it away on some punk like you. But someday, man, oh, someday, when you're out of here and you're forgotten all about this place, and they've forgotten all about you, and you're wrapped up in your own pathetic life, I'm going to be there. Oh, that's right. I'm going to kick the living shit out of you, man. I'm going to knock your dick in the dirt.
Are you threatening me?
No. What are you going to do about it? You think anybody's going to believe you? You think anybody's going to take your word over mine? I'm a man of respect around here. They love me around here. I'm a swell guy. You're a lying sack of shit. And everybody knows it. Oh, you're a real tough guy. Come on. Come on. Get on your feet, pal. Let's find out how tough you are. I want to know right now how tough you are. Come on. I'll give you the first punch. Let's go. Oh, come on, right here. Just take the first shot. Please, I'm begging you. Take a shot. Come on, just take one shot. That's all I need. Just one swing.
Bender just sits there staring at Vernon. Vernon fakes a punch, and Bender flinches.
That's what I thought. You're a gutless turd.
Vernon leaves and locks the closet door after him. Bender climbs into a hatch in the ceiling and disappears. Cut to interior heating duct day. Bender is slowly crawling through the heating duct.
Naked blonde walks into the bar with a poodle under one arm and 2 feet salami under the other. She lays the poodle on the table. Bartender says, "I suppose you won't be needing a drink." The naked lady says,
The ceiling under Bender gives way and he falls through.
"Oh shit."
Interior facility bathroom day. We see the door to the bathroom. We hear Vernon inside.
Oh, Jesus Christ almighty.
Cut to interior library day. Bender walks down the stairs.
"I forgot my pencil."
We hear Vernon in the hall.
God damn it. What in God's name is going on in here? What was that ruckus?
What ruckus?
I was just in my office and I heard a ruckus.
Could you explain the ruckus, sir?
Watch your tongue, young man. Watch it.
We see Bender under the table by Claire's legs. He sits up and bangs his head on the table. He groans above the table. Andrew and Claire try to take credit for the noise by making more noise.
What is that? Huh? What is that? What is that noise?
Under the table, Bender looks between Claire's legs and can see her panties. He puts his head between Claire's legs.
What noise?
Really, sir? There wasn't any noise.
Claire squeals. She squeezes Bender's head between her knees. Everyone starts faking a coughing fit.
That noise? Was that the noise you were talking about?
No, it wasn't. That was not the noise I was talking about. Now, I may not have caught you in the act this time, but you can bet I will.
Allison laughs at Vernon.
You make book on that, Missy. And you, I will not be made a fool of.
He turns and walks away. We see that he still has the toilet seat cover stuck to his pants. Vernon leaves. Everyone laughs except Claire, who lets Bender out of a barrage of slaps.
"It was an accident.
You're an asshole.
So sue me."
Bender gets up and walks over to Brian.
"So up, Kaibo, mean Dubitch."
Brian gives Bender the bag of marijuana. Bender turns and walks away.
Yo, wastoid. You're not gonna blaze up in here.
Claire gets up and goes after him. Then Brian.
Shit.
Andrew goes. Interior stairs day, we see Vernon go down the stairs. Interior library day. Brian, Bender, and Claire are sitting in a circle laughing hysterically. Bender lights Claire up and she coughs the smoke out. Brian laughs at her. He exhales and tries to eat the smoke. He talks to her in a really weird voice.
Cannot hold their smoke. That's what it is.
You know how popular I am. I am so popular. Everyone loves me so much at this school.
Poor baby.
Brian waves Claire over to him and he falls over. We see Andrew emerge from the really smoky room. He inhales another puff and then starts dancing to everybody's applause. He goes back in the room he was in. He screams and it shatters the glass door. Cut to interior basement day. Vernon is glancing through the confidential files in the school basement.
Mr. Turney, a history of slight mental illness? Woo-hoo-hoo. No wonder he's so fucked up.
Carl enters.
Oh, afternoon, Dick. Oh, hey, Carl. How you doing? Good. Good. Good, good. What's up? Not much. What's happening? What are you doing in the basement, Files? Oh, nothing here. I'm just doing a little housework here. Oh, homework? Huh? Oh, yeah, yeah.
And Carl, laughing, comes over and looks at the files Vernon's looking at.
Confidential files, hmm? Hey, look, Carl, this is a highly sensitive area, and I tell you something. Certain people would be very, very embarrassed. I would really appreciate it if this would be something that you and I could keep between us. What are you gonna do for me, man? What would you like? Got $50? What? $50.
Interior Library Day. We see Andrew and Brian laughing. Allison is hanging out over by the statue in the back of the library.
No, no, man, no. You got a middle name?
Yeah, guess.
Allison suddenly takes interest in this conversation, and as she speaks, she moves over and sits next to the two.
Your middle name is Ralph, as in puke.
Brian and Andrew look at her in confusion.
Your birthday is March 12th. You're 5'9.5". You weigh 130 pounds. And your social security number is.
Andrew is impressed.
Wow. Are you a psychic?
No.
Well, would you mind telling me how you know all this about me?
Allison reaches in her bag.
I stole your wallet.
And she produces it in her hand and grins.
Give it to me.
No.
Give it.
Allison reluctantly hands it over the wallet to and Brian glances through it to make sure nothing's missing.
This is great. You're a thief too, huh?
I'm not a thief.
Multi-talented.
What's there to steal? $2 and a beaver shot?
A what?
He's got a nudie picture in there. I saw it. It's perverted.
All right, let's see it.
We see Bender. He is brushing his teeth with one of Claire's cosmetic brushes. We see Claire looking through Bender's wallet pictures.
Aren't these all your girlfriends?
Some of them.
What about the others?
Well, some I consider my girlfriends, some I just consider
Consider what?
whether or not I want to hang out with them.
You don't believe in just one guy, one girl?
Do you?
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Well, not for me.
Why not?
Bender clearly doesn't want to answer that. He acts defensive.
How come you got so much shit in your purse?
How come you got so many girlfriends?
I asked you first.
I don't know. I guess I'd never throw anything away.
Neither do I.
Oh,
And we cut back to where Andrew, Brian, and Allison are sitting. Andrew is looking through Brian's wallet.
This is the worst fake ID I've ever seen.
Andrew laughs.
Do you realize you made yourself 68?
Oh, I know. I goofed it.
Well, what do you need a fake ID for?
So I can vote.
Allison looks up suddenly.
Do you want to see what's in my bag?
No.
Oh,
Allison looks hurt and then resentful. Just to spite them, she dumps the contents of her bag onto the couch. Lots of stuff comes out.
holy shit. What is all that stuff?
You always carry that much shit in your bag?
Yeah, I always carry this much shit in my bag. You never know when you may have to jam.
Are you gonna be like a shopping bag lady? You know, like sit in alleyways and like talk to buildings and wear men's shoes and that kind of thing?
I'll do what I have to do.
Why do you have to do anything?
My home life is unsatisfying.
So you're saying you'd subject yourself to the violent dangers of the Chicago streets because your home life is unsatisfying?
I don't have to run away and live in the street. I can run away and go to the ocean I can go to the country. I can go to the mountains. I can go to Israel, Africa, Afghanistan.
Ryan looks at her and then moves over to Andrew.
Andy, you want to get in on this? Allison here says she wants to run away because her home life is unsatisfying.
Well, everybody's home lives are unsatisfying. If it wasn't, people would live with their parents forever.
Yeah, I understand. But I think that hers goes beyond, like what guys like you and me consider normal, unsatisfying.
Never mind. Forget it. Just everything's cool.
Allison starts putting everything back in her purse.
Well, what's the deal?
No, there's no deal, Sporto. Forget it. Leave me alone.
Now, wait a minute. Now you're carrying all that crap around in your purse. Either you really want to run away or you want people to think you want to run away.
Ugh, eat shit.
Allison gets up and walks away.
The girl is an island with herself, okay?
Andrew gets up and walks after her.
You want to talk?
No.
Why not?
Go away.
Well, where do you want me to go?
Go away.
Andrew turns away and Allison starts to cry.
You have problems.
Oh, I have problems?
You do everything everybody ever
Ew.
tells you to do. This is a problem.
Okay, fine. And I didn't dump my purse out on the couch and invite people into my problems, did I? So what's wrong? What is it? Is it bad? Real bad? Parents?
Allison is silently crying.
Yeah.
Andrew nods.
What do they do to you?
They ignore me.
Yeah. Yeah.
They both are crying silently. Interior basement day, Vernon and Carl are sitting talking.
And what did you want to be when you were young? Oh, when I was a kid, I wanted to be John Lennon. Carl, don't be a goof. I'm trying to make a serious point here. I've been teaching for 22 years, and each year, these kids get more and more arrogant. Ah, bullshit, man. Come on, Vern. The kids haven't changed. You have. You thought it'd be fun, right? Thought you could have summer vacations off, and then you found out it was actually work. And that really bummed you out. These kids turned on me. They think I'm a big fucking joke. Oh, come on. Listen, Vern, if you were 16, what would you think of you, huh? Hey, Carl, you think I'd give one rat's ass what these kids think of me? Yes, I do. You think about this. When you get old, these kids, when I get old, they're going to be running the country. Yeah. Now, this is the thought that wakes me up in the middle of the night. That when I get older, these kids are going to take care of me. I wouldn't count on that.
Vernon ponders that statement for a moment. Interior library day. They are sitting on the floor in a circle.
What would I do for $1 million? Well, I guess I'd do as little as I had to.
Oh, that's boring.
Well, how am I supposed to answer?
The idea is like to search your mind for the absolute limit. Like, would you drive to school naked?
Andrew laughs.
Would I have to get out of the car?
Of course.
In the spring or winter?
It doesn't matter. Spring.
In front of the school or in back of the school?
Either one.
Yes.
I'd do that.
They all look at her.
I'll do anything sexual. I don't need $1 million to do it either.
You're lying.
I already have. I've done just about everything there is except a few things that are illegal. I'm a nymphomaniac.
Claire rolls her eyes.
Lie.
Are your parents aware of this?
The only person I told was my shrink.
And what'd he do when you told him?
He nailed me.
Very nice.
I don't think that from a legal standpoint, what he did can be construed as rape since I paid him.
He's an adult.
Allison is relishing this attention.
Yeah, he's married too.
Claire notes her disgust.
Do you have any idea how completely gross that is?
Well, the first few times,
First few times. You mean he did it more than once?
sure.
Are you crazy?
Obviously, she's crazy if she's screwing her shrink.
Have you ever done it?
I don't even have a psychiatrist.
Have you ever done it with a normal person?
Now, didn't we already cover this?
Never answer the question.
Look, I'm not going to discuss my private life with total strangers.
It's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
A what?
Well, if you say you haven't, you're a prude. If you say you have, you're a slut. It's a trap. You want to, but you can't. But when you do, you wish you didn't, right?
Wrong.
Or are you a tease?
She's a tease.
Oh, why don't you guys just forget it?
You're a tease, and you know it. All girls are teases.
She's only a tease if what she does gets you hot.
I don't do anything.
That's why you're a tease.
Okay, let me ask you a few questions.
Allison is suddenly defensive.
I've already told you everything.
No. Doesn't it bother you to sleep around without being in love? I mean, don't you want any respect?
I don't screw to get respect. That's the difference between you and me.
Not the only difference, I hope.
Face it, you're a tease.
I am not a tease.
Sure you are. You said it yourself. Sex is a weapon. You use it to get respect.
No, I never said that. She twisted my words around.
Oh, then what do you use it for?
I don't use it, period.
Claire is on the verge of tears.
Oh, are you medically frigid or is it psychological?
I didn't mean it that way. You guys are putting words into my mouth.
Well, then answer the question.
Why don't you just answer the question?
Like, be honest.
No big deal.
Yeah, answer it.
Answer the question, Claire.
Talk to us.
Come on. Answer the question.
It's easy. It's only one question.
Claire silences all of them by screaming.
No, I never did it.
Silence for 2 beats.
I never did it either. I'm not a nymphomaniac. I'm a compulsive liar.
You are such a bitch. You did that on purpose just to F me over.
I would do it though. If you love someone, it's okay.
I can't believe you. You're so weird. You don't say anything all day, and then when you open your mouth, you unload all these tremendous lies all over me.
You're just pissed off because she got you to admit something you didn't want to admit to.
Okay, fine. But that doesn't make it any less bizarre.
What's bizarre? I mean, we're all pretty bizarre. Some of us are just better at hiding at it. That's all.
Well, how are you bizarre?
Allison decides to field that question.
He can't think for himself.
She's right. Do you guys know what I did to get in here? I taped Larry Lester's buns together.
Claire laughs.
That was you?
Yeah. You know him?
Yeah, I know him.
Well, then you know how hairy he is, right? Well, when they pulled the tape off, most of his hair came off and some skin too.
Oh my God.
And the bizarre thing is that I did it for my old man. I tortured this poor kid because I wanted him to think that I was cool. He's always going off about, when he was in school, all the wild things he used to do. And I got the feeling that he was disappointed that I never cut loose on anyone. Right? So I'm sitting in the locker room and I'm taping up my knee and Larry's undressing a couple lockers down from me. Yeah, he's kind of skinny, weak. Then I started thinking about my father and his attitude about weakness. And the next thing I knew, I jumped on top of him and started wailing on him. My friends, they just laughed and cheered me on. And afterwards, when I was sitting in Vernon's office, all I could think about was Larry's father. And Larry happened to go home and explain what happened to him and the humiliation. Fucking humiliation he must have felt. It must have been unreal. I mean, I mean, how do you apologize for something like that? There's no way. It's all because of me and my old man. God, I fucking hate him. He's like this. He's like this mindless machine that I can't even relate to anymore. Andrew, you've got to be number one. I won't tolerate any losers in this family. Your insensitivity is for shit. Win, win, win. Son of a bitch. You know, sometimes I wish my knee would give and I wouldn't be able to wrestle anymore. And he could forget all about me.
Think your old man and my old man should get together and go bowling.
Andrew laughs briefly.
It's like me, with my grades. Like when I step outside myself, kind of, and when I look in at myself, and I see me, and I don't like what I see. I really don't.
What's wrong with you? Why don't you like yourself?
Because I'm stupid. Because I'm failing shop. See, we had this assignment to make this ceramic elephant, and we had 8 weeks to do it. And we're supposed to, and it was like a lamp. And when you pull the trunk, the light was supposed to go on, and my light didn't go on. I got an F on it. Never got an F in my life. When I signed up, for the course, I mean, I thought I was playing it real smart, because I thought, well, I'll take shop. It'll be such an easy way to maintain my grade point average.
Why'd you think it'd be easy?
Well, have you seen some of the dopes that take shop?
I take shop. You must be a fucking idiot.
I'm a freaking idiot because I can't make a lamp.
You're a genius because you can't make a lamp.
What do you know about trigonometry?
I could care less about trigonometry.
Bender, did you know without trigonometry, there'd be no engineering?
Without lamps, there'd be no light.
Okay, so neither one of you is any better than the other one.
Allison feels left out.
I can write with my toes. I can also eat, brush my teeth,
With your feet?
play heart and soul on the piano.
I can make spaghetti.
What can you do?
I can tape all your buns together.
I want to see what Claire can do.
I can't do anything.
Now, everybody can do something.
Well, there's one thing I can do. No, forget it. It's too embarrassing.
You ever seen Wild Kingdom? I mean, that guy's been doing that show for 30 years.
Okay. But you have to swear to God you won't laugh. Can't believe I'm actually doing this.
Claire takes lipstick out and opens it. She places it between her breasts and applies it from her cleavage. When she lifts her head, her lipstick is perfect. Everyone claps. Bender's clap is sarcastic and slow.
All right, great. Where'd you learn to do that?
Camp, 7th grade.
That was great, Claire. My image of you is totally blown.
You're a shit. Don't do that to her. You swore to God you wouldn't laugh.
Am I laughing?
You fucking prick.
Bender turns to Andrew. As he speaks, we can see his words are hitting home.
What do you care what I think anyway? I don't even count, right? I could disappear forever and it wouldn't make any difference. I may as well not even exist at this school, remember? And you don't even like me anyway.
I have just as many feelings as you do. And it hurts just as much when somebody steps all over them.
God, you're pathetic. Don't you ever compare yourself to me, okay? You got everything and I got shit. Fucking Rapunzel, right? School would probably fucking shut down if you didn't show up. Queenie isn't here. I like those earrings, Claire.
Shut up.
Are those real diamonds, Claire?
Shut up.
I bet they are. Did you work for the money for those earrings?
Shut your mouth.
Or did your daddy buy you those?
Shut up.
Claire starts crying.
I bet he bought those for you. I bet those were a Christmas gift, right? You know what I got for Christmas this year? It was a banner freaking year at the old Bender family. I got a carton of cigarettes. The old man grabbed me and said, "Hey, smoke up, Johnny." Just go home and cry to your daddy. Don't cry here, okay?
There are a few beats.
My God. Are we going to be like our parents?
Not me. Ever.
When you grow up, your heart dies. I
What
mean, it's
happens?
unavoidable. It just happens.
What happens?
When you grow up, your heart dies.
Who cares?
Allison is on the verge of tears herself.
I care.
I was just thinking, I mean, I know it's kind of weird time, but I was just wondering, what is going to happen to us on Monday when we're all together again? I mean, I consider you guys my friends. I'm not wrong, am I?
No.
So on Monday, what happens?
Are we still friends, you mean? I mean, if we're friends now, that is.
Yeah,
Do you want the truth?
I want the truth.
I don't think so.
Well, do you mean all of us or just John?
With all of you.
That's a real nice attitude, Claire.
I'll be honest, Andy. If Brian came in walking up to you in the hall on Monday, what would you do? I mean, picture this. You're there with all of the sports. I know exactly what you'd do. You'd say hi to him, and when you left, you'd cut him up so all your friends wouldn't think you really liked him.
No way.
Okay, what if I came up to you?
Same exact thing.
You're a bitch.
Why? Because I'm telling the truth? That makes me a bitch.
No, because you know how shitty that is to do to someone, and you don't got the balls to stand up to your friends and tell them you're gonna like who you want to like.
Okay, what about you, you hypocrite? Why don't you take Allison to one of those heavy metal vomit parties or take Brian out to the parking lot at lunch to get high? What about Andy for that matter? What about me? What would your friends say if we were walking down the hall together? They'd laugh their asses off, and they'd probably tell him you were doing it with me, so they'd forgive you for being seen with me.
Did you ever talk about my friends? You don't know any of my friends. You don't look at any of my friends, and you certainly wouldn't consent to speak to any of my friends. So you just stick to the things you know: shopping, nail polish, your father's BMW, and your poor, rich, drunk mother in the Caribbean.
Shut up.
And as far as being concerned about what's going to happen when you and I walk down the hallways at school, you can forget it, because it's never going to happen. Just bury your head in the sand and wait for your fucking prom.
I hate you.
Yeah? Good.
There is silence until Brian speaks.
Then I assume Allison and I are better people than you guys, huh? Us weirdos. Would you do that to me?
I don't have any friends.
Well, if you did,
No, I don't think the kind of friends I'd have would mind.
I just want to tell each of you, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't, and I will not, because I think that's really shitty.
Your friends wouldn't mind because they look up to us.
Brian laughs at her.
You're so conceited, Claire. You're so conceited. You're so like full of yourself. Like, why are you like that?
I'm not saying that to be conceited. I hate it. I hate having to go along with everything my friends say.
Well, then why do you do it?
I don't know. I don't. You don't understand. You don't. You're not friends with the same kind of people that Andy and I are friends with. You know, you just don't understand the pressure they can put on you.
Brian is shocked.
I don't understand what? You think I don't understand pressure, Claire? Well, screw you. Screw you.
Brian hides his head in his arms because he is crying.
You know why I'm here today? Do you? I'm here because Mr. Ryan found a gun in the locker.
Why do you have a gun in your locker?
I tried. You pull the frickin' trunk on it and the light's supposed to go on and it didn't go on. I mean,
What's the gun for, Brian?
just forget it.
You brought it up, man.
I can't have enough. I can't have it, and I know my parents can't have it. Even if I ace the rest of the semester, I'm still only a B, and everything's ruined for me.
Oh, Brian.
Brian bashes a chair over.
So I considered my options, you know?
Oh, killing yourself is not an option.
I didn't do it, did I? No, I don't think so.
The handgun?
No, it's a flare gun. Went off in my locker.
Really?
Andrew starts to laugh.
It's not funny.
They all start to laugh, including Brian.
Yes, it is. Frickin' elephant was destroyed.
You want to know what I did to get in here? Nothing. I didn't have anything better to do.
Everyone laughs.
You're laughing at me.
No.
Allison starts laughing too.
Yeah, you are.
Interior library day. Later, we see Brian putting a record on, and then the music starts. We see them all dancing and goes for the duration of the song. Interior heating duct day. We see Bender crawling back through the heating duct. Interior library day. Andrew, Allison, Claire, and Brian are sitting in that order on the railing.
Brian,
Yeah,
are you going to write your paper?
yeah. Why?
Well, it's kind of a waste for all of us to write our paper, don't you think?
Oh, but that's what Vernon wants us to do.
True, but I think we'd all kind of say the same thing.
You just don't want to write your paper, right?
True, but you're the smartest, right?
Oh, well,
We trust you.
Brian glances over at Allison and Andrew, who nod in approval.
Yeah.
all right. I'll do it.
Great.
Claire looks at Allison, who looks back.
Come on.
Where are we going?
Come on.
We see Claire putting eye makeup on Allison.
Don't be afraid.
Don't stick that in my eye.
I'm not sticking it. Just close. Just go like that.
Claire closes her eyes. Allison mimics her.
Good.
Claire puts the makeup on her, and Allison squeals.
You know, you really do look a lot better without all that black shit on your eyes.
Hey, I like that black shit.
This looks a lot better. Look up.
We see Brian thinking about what he's going to write. We see Andrew just thinking. We see Allison and Claire again. Claire is putting makeup on Allison.
Please, why are you being so nice to me?
Because you're letting me.
We see Brian begin to write. We see Andrew still deep in thought. Cut to interior closet day. We see Bender in the closet once again. Claire opens the door and enters.
You lost?
Claire stares at him. Bender smiles. Claire smiles. Cut to interior library day. Brian is busily preparing the essay. Andrew looks up and sees a newly made over Allison and is in awe. Allison walks towards him and stops. When she notices Brian staring at her with his mouth open, she glares at him.
Cool.
Cut to interior closet day. Claire kissing Bender. Then she breaks the kiss.
Why'd you do that?
Because I knew you wouldn't.
You know how you said before how your parents used to get back at each other? Wouldn't I be outstanding in that capacity?
Were you really disgusted about what I did with my lipstick?
Truth?
Truth.
Bender nods and speaks at the same time.
No.
Cut to interior library day. We see Brian lift up his paper and kiss it. We see Andrew and Allison.
What happened to you?
Why? Claire did it. What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. It's just so different. I can see your face.
Is that good or bad?
It's good.
Allison smiles. We see Brian laugh and give himself a congratulatory punch in the arm. Cut to interior hallway day. The five are walking down the hall where they are met by Carl sweeping up. Brian nods at him.
See you, Brian.
Carl.
See you next Saturday.
You bet.
Cut to exterior parking lot day. Brian gets into his dad's car and leaves. Andrew and Allison kiss. Allison rips a patch off Andrew's jacket and gets into the car. Andrew's dad arrives and looks at him, then at Allison. Andrew gets into the car and drives off. We see Claire take out one of her diamond earrings and put it into Bender's hand. They kiss and she goes into the car. She leaves. We see Bender put the earring in his ear. Cut to interior library day. We see Vernon pick up Brian's essay and begin to read. Dear Brian.
Dear Mr. Vernon, We accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it is we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make an essay telling you who we think we are. You see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms, in the most convenient definitions.
Exterior football field day. We see Bender walking toward us as Brian's monologue continues.
But what we found out is that each one of us has a brain.
And an athlete.
And a basket case.
A princess.
And a criminal.
Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.
We see Bender walking across the football field as he thrusts his fist into the air in a silent chair and freezes there. The end. Boom, boom, boom. All right.
Don't you forget about me.
Good song.
Don't.
Oh.
All right. Cool. Are we taking another intermission? You guys want to talk? Any votes?
No intermission, I don't think.
All right.
Just a quick talk.
Who has seen this recently? Whose favorite movie is this? Blah, 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 blah. Tell me everything you guys know about this.
I haven't seen it recently, but I could totally imagine all of it. Like it's, yeah, from the script. Right to the very end, the jump in the air and freeze. Sorry, Vicky, you're so excited. You talk.
Yes, I definitely win. It's my favorite movie, and I definitely saw it more recent than anybody. It was less than a month ago, and I actually saw it twice in the same week. I explained earlier, I can't see it too much. One of my favorite moments in any movie is when Allie comes out and she's got the new makeup on, and there's so much said. I think I've talked about this before with another movie, but there's so much said in that moment without words. You know, she's like, hey, don't make fun of me. And then Brian looks at her and is like, whoa. And she sees the honesty in that. And she's just, oh, wow. You know, like it changes her in that moment. It's just like I get my hair stands up just thinking about it every time. It's such a great scene.
Awesome. Who else?
Is and as the person who identified with that basket case character, I also didn't like that scene because I was like, why did she have to change? Why wasn't she good enough the way she was? But still, yes, there's so much said in that scene, and just her whole like presence in that movie where she's just lurking in the background the whole time.
And then comes out.
Yeah,
I think in that scene and having Claire do that with her, it says a lot of really positive things, and it shows her that you can be anything. You know, it doesn't take makeup to do that. It takes her believing in herself, and that's when she really glowed, when it was like, whoa, really, me? Yeah, so not to disagree with you. I mean,
no, I
everyone
don't disagree with you. It was just I agree with you, but it's like there's always that makeover scene, and that one, yes, I initially liked it, and then later watching, so it's like, well, why did she have to change just for a boy?
I love how each of the characters were so well defined, but when it comes right down to it, all have the same problems that every teenager has had. You know, that's that internal struggle and the struggle with the parents and feeling like they're not enough and all of that kind of stuff. I love how Ali Sheedy's character was so well defined as a character who barely said anything.
Yeah, I forgot
Something
that
she doesn't
didn't
speak
speak for so
until
much.
yeah, she doesn't
Yeah.
speak until page 33.
And she's still quite a presence. Like the biggest thing that I remember from this, and I think the last time I saw it was when I was a kid, and I did love it when I was a kid, was her having that drawing and then shaking her dandruff out on the page.
I just read that they used Parmesan for that.
Oh, it was both disgusting and creative at the same time. So it's very surprising.
Her little squeaks were all
yeah. And her putting her head right down. It's surprising how much of the film stuck in my head from back then too. Now I want to see it again, but I feel like I just saw it again.
They really show the male characters emotions too. It's like young boys not being like tough or hiding their emotions, but they're all kind of feeling the same and opening up about their home life and things like that, because we don't really see that often.
Yeah, even the tough guys, even Bender, even the jock, they all end up being real and vulnerable because we all are.
And like you can just, even though Bender is mean to Claire the entire time, she can still see through him
Yeah.
and like see that he is fragile underneath there.
And they do, on some level, become friends. Whether that sticks or not, who knows? But it's interesting too. They don't show that. Or they kind of do. They kind of do when she gives her earring to Bender and the patch. So
Just reading a little list of trivia items, and one of them was that this was meant to be, and I didn't fact check, so I'll state that that this was meant to be the beginning in a franchise,
Hmm.
and they were gonna check up with them every few years,
oh,
but they never did.
why?
Too bad that they never did.
Yeah.
And the other thing I read was that scene where they are high and they're talking about their problems at home was all improv.
Hmm. Was it in
If
the
so, I
script?
wonder how it got in the script. I was wondering a few things about the script, like
I think
for
the
it being
script might
that
be a
old,
transcription.
that's what I was wondering, because for it to be that old of a movie and it to look this clean, I feel like it had to be rewritten at one time. And you'd think transcription, but they do have like the scene numbers.
But then
Um,
I thought some of the script was off.
what do you mean off?
Uh,
The action was in the dialogue.
well, that, but also some of the dialogue was a little different.
Yeah, I was wondering about that again. I haven't seen it recently, so that's one of the things asking who's seen it recently, if that very
I'm
similar.
going by
But
Petra. Petra.
but
She
from what
mentioned.
oh, she mentioned that, you said, or what?
Yeah, and because when I was casting this, I looked back at our emails to make sure that I was casting who people wanted. And she mentioned that the something Cobble Mine Dubage or whatever was something like, I forget, was something else. So
There was in the, again, not fact checked, but I just read Claire's original name was Kathy, and what's her face was originally Allison, not Allison, the actress
Oh,
that played Claire.
Molly
Molly
Ringwald.
Ringwald was originally going to be Allison, but they couldn't find a good enough or I don't know how they did it. And then and Emilio Estevez was originally going to be Bender, but they couldn't find a good enough Andrew, so they changed him to Andrew and found a Bender.
I'm glad they did that.
Who
their
knows?
faces look similar. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Morgan was saying, yeah, I don't know, just if anybody's writing their scripts, like again, even if you're transcribing or you're writing it, to like go through it and make sure you don't have description in like someone's dialogue stuff. And they also had a couple of the same, like triple of like the dialogue of the same person, one after another, one after another. And there's something else. Oh, and again, I don't know if you have to do this, but if I was doing it, I wouldn't have the name on one line and then the dialogue on the next page. You know what I mean? Like just
Right.
break it up like that. But
I get to see how Final Draft does that very soon. So I got myself some vinyl draft.
That's awesome.
Mm.
Yeah.
If anyone really likes the John Hughes universe, I would highly recommend the Ready Player 2 novel.
Hmm.
If you've heard, okay, Ready Player 1 was a novel and it was also a movie. Then he wrote a sequel. In the sequel, if you don't know this, and they're living in a virtual reality world, and in the sequel, the main characters have to go to the John Hughes planet to solve, they have to find something. So they have to go through all the John Hughes movies
Hmm.
to solve this puzzle. So every John Hughes movie like makes an appearance, including The Breakfast Club. I think it's called the Shermer Planet or Planet Shermer because every John
That's
Hughes movie
cool.
takes place in Shermer.
That's awesome.
Now, what were you going to say, Jacob, earlier about how he
That's
wrote
all I had
Movies in
to
a
say.
Weekend?
I don't have more than that. Like, not that he does every movie that, but like that's one of the like exceptions and examples that people bring up when they talk about how long it takes to write a screenplay and how fast to write a screenplay. And there's of course extremes to that. But famously, I don't know which one of his he wrote that quick, but again, like you're saying, it's the city he knows. Maybe it's more common stuff he knows, people he knows, so he can just make it up where it doesn't have to be as much researched and
How
stuff.
fast did he write it?
Not necessarily this one. I don't know
Oh,
which one of
yeah.
his movies. I haven't heard
was
about one
called-
of them. I should search that while you guys continue talking. I'll search that right now. So
Nothing to say.
I'm curious as to Kat's impression, having not seen it.
I know I'm probably the only Gen Xer on the planet who's not actually seen this movie. I've only ever seen, little snippets of trailers and things like that. So yeah, it's a little different, and it's in the whole concept of being in detention on a Saturday. I know, I don't think we ever had detention on Saturdays. I think it was always after school. So that was the part that I was always a little confused about as to whether some high schools really did do detention on Saturdays or not. But yeah, I found it was really interesting watching the characters to see how everyone goes from their archetypes to finding the part somewhere in the script where they become real people, not just their archetypes. So, and some of them seem to go back and forth. Like you'd show a little glimpse of the real and then I'd go back to the archetype because it's too scary to let it all out at once. So that was what I was noticing as I was reading through here. Just and the whole fact that they're all in the same school, but none of them, I think, recognized each other since they're all must be a big high school, and the library is huge. So, we had I think 1,000 people in our high school, and our library wasn't this big. So it must have been an even bigger high school. So they would not have recognized each other at all in this detention. They were complete strangers to each other. So watching them get to know a little bit about each other as we went through the script was interesting.
I think Claire and Andrew,
Maybe they knew each other.
Yes, it's something about having similar or the same friends. So I think they may have known each other.
and
popular
it felt
people.
like Brian and what's his name, Bender, were aware of Claire. Like, so they knew the popular girl that they see over there, probably knew her name, even though they had no interactions probably with them.
And I think my daughter said something about Claire being aware of Bender. Like it was something inside her head or, because I mean, he's not the popular guy, but there is something about the popular girl actually being attracted to the bad boy. It's something that happens. So
I felt that kind of rang true for what my high school life was like. When the last, like my grade 11, 12 was in a school of 1,500 people. When it was extremely cliquey, and you had the groups that hung out in this hallway. There was a 900 ring for the stoners, and like it was very cliquey in the same kind of way. So for me, it rang very true that these people would have no idea who each other were.
Maybe just by reputation, if anything.
Yeah.
yeah, there were people, the same school. I went to the same school, but 10 years earlier. The same people I went to junior high with, a lot of them I never saw again and yet they were in that school. So it's like, where did they go? They disappeared into their cliques, and I was never in those wings, like you say. Yeah.
I came to that school in grade 11 from a town that had less people than the high school by a third. Like our town had 1,000 people, and I went to it.
Did you go to comp?
I did. Yeah. And I came from Bowdoin, right? So we officially became a town while I lived there, which meant we had 1,000 people. And then I went to that high school for 11 and 12.
Oh.
It was culture shock, to say the least.
Some of my kids went there. My brother went there. I went across the street.
Ah.
You grew up here too, Vicky?
Yeah. Basically from grade 8 onward.
Okay. You went to comp too?
Yep.
I missed out.
Just found an MTV article that says this movie was written in 2 days. The
Yeah,
first
that-
draft.
I
Wow.
brought that up. Like this one, it says he wrote in 2 days, and it says he wrote Ferris Bueller's Day Off in a 20-hour binge, and that he normally finishes a screenplay in about 4 days.
Wow.
Yes.
He's the exception. Anybody looking at this, anybody reading this, and like you said, it's probably maybe just the first draft. Other ones,
But also, does he do work beforehand? Does he do prep work and have an outline?
Yeah.
Or does he just like come up with it and go for it?
This one to me sort of makes sense that you would write really fast because it's almost like a continued conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no change really. Nobody's
Continuous
leaving
time.
the location.
Yeah.
It's based in one place and it's very much continuous conversation. Like they just keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
Read that they rehearsed it like a play.
Oh.
And again, just found another thing that said that the scene where they're confessing what they did to get into detention was all improv.
What? All of it?
Yeah,
how was it written? Or maybe they did more takes or tries on it.
maybe.
Like sometimes you can write something and say, "Hey, try it again or do it differently or
Yeah.
whatever."
Like, did they give him an idea? Like, hey, you taped somebody's buns together. Here, go with it.
I mean, and some of them could be pulling from like memory, like maybe in his school he knew that happened to somebody,
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right,
Well-
I'm going to be the voice of. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say they were the Brat Pack, and I don't think any of them actually went to a real high school.
Oh.
So
And
Well,
you
the
were
script
gonna say,
doesn't have a lot of actual action,
Yeah.
some of the scripts we've read have a lot of like what the camera is doing. And this one, you get the occasional, like, the meat lands on the thing, or you've got someone under the table, but most of it is just left up, I think, to the director and whoever else is doing all the storyboards and things, because you don't have a lot of it's mostly just dialogue in the script. So, you can do this a million different ways. I mean, even the dance scene just says, they dance, but they don't tell you. And that's a really long scene from what I can tell from watching the trailers.
it's a beautiful scene. I love that scene.
But yeah, this is all about just what they're saying rather than what they are doing so much.
little
I was
puppet.
just gonna say, like, I'll be the voice of dissent just because it's all one side. I'll say the other side. Like, I don't think I like the movie that much. And this script, I was like, blah. Like, I felt like all the stuff is forced. I feel like they're crying and they suddenly are saying this. Now they're suddenly laughing. It's like, to me, I'm like, there's nothing that made them so feel that way or this stuff. I don't know. It just, and then even the stuff out of the blue, they're walking in the hallway. They're like, why are we following him? We don't know why we're following him. It's like, what? I don't know. So I'm not a big fan of it. But as you can see, the majority of people are. Yeah.
I
And
remember
the one
loving it.
scene where they're sitting all together, saying their emotions and laughing and crying. They're also high.
Mhm.
Well, even reading that, it felt like that person never got high or really knew people getting high. It felt like the cliche version of getting high to me when I was even reading it today. I'm like, that's not how. I don't know, but yeah,
It's not how you
I'm
experience.
sure. Well, I'm sure most of us have been around a lot of people that may be high, and it's certain amounts affect different people differently and stuff. But it felt like someone writing it that doesn't know. You know what I mean? That like it felt like the reaction of how you would write it if they tell you about what marijuana is like in school and stuff.
Yeah.
To me,
I have to watch it again as an adult now.
I
And
mean, to
see.
me, that what you're saying only applies to the part where he's smoking in the one room and screams and breaks the window.
Mm,
Like, how does that happen?
yeah,
I wonder if I would feel differently about the script and just reading the script had I not seen the show, right? Like this was,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in years and years and years, but I can remember every bit of it from the script. I wonder if I would, what my viewpoint of the script would be just based on the merit of the script alone without having seen it.
About all the nostalgia. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's definite nostalgia. I mean, that's when I was, that's back in the time of my high school. So, because what year was it written?
85.
85.
Yeah. And I graduated 86. So,
Oh,
yeah, that's my.
so you were right
So-
there with them.
So there's like total nostalgia with it, right?
Huh.
do you remember watching it at that time?
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I probably haven't seen it since then, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I was a Molly Ringwald fan when I was young. I saw all her stuff.
Well, she was in
16.
everything at that time.
Yeah.
I saw your sister's movie the other day, Morgan. Like horror. I don't want to
Totally
say more
Killer.
about it.
Totally killer.
Yeah, I liked it. It was really. I didn't even know she was in it when I started watching it. I thought, hey, I recognize that person. But I don't even normally watch that type of movie, but I thought it was pretty good. But they reference people like in Molly Greenwald in that movie.
Oh, right.
So
I
I
just
did
read
like
that-
Pretty in Pink. Go ahead.
I just read that Jodie Foster, Laura Dern, and someone else had auditioned for the part.
Huh.
And Molly Ringwald got it.
Um,
Can you imagine it with Jodie Foster?
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I can. As a teenager, yeah.
Well, maybe, yeah. She's kind of a
Well,
case
you
back
know
then.
what? When she was a
Very.
teenager, she one of her front teeth were broken sideways,
Mhm.
and that wouldn't have suited that character at all. That's why she wasn't cast.
Yeah, that's what it was. Teeth.
Well, even with these casting, like they fit well, but they don't seem like the total cliche one, which is I think is a good thing. Like, because like the Molly Greenwald, the character, just the way they talk about it on the script.
Ringwald.
I know, I'm sorry, and I'm gonna probably say it
Okay.
wrong again. Sorry. I don't know why. It's like the cliche thing is usually the blonde hair, right? And this and that. And she doesn't
Yeah.
have that cliche popular girl, mean girl movie look.
Did you call her Molly Griswold?
Greenwald,
Greenwald.
Greenwald, I don't know.
Is it Griswold because Christmas is coming?
Yeah.
I don't even remember well enough. My memory is just based off trying to hear what you guys are saying and trying to repeat it. But yeah.
Well, I think what you were saying, Jacob, about how the characters, like they're laughing here and then they're crying there and such. I think that is so classically teenager for this time period
Oh.
too. I mean, it's just sort of they're all over the place, and I think the script lends itself to that, and it really captures the sort of teen angst of the time. There's a lot more like in language wise. I mean, there's a lot more F-bombs and other words than you might see in a movie today. Not to mention, scenes like what's his name under the table looking at
Yeah.
Claire's underwear and such. There's things like that would be probably not done in a film necessarily today if you were doing a teen movie.
Yeah. I mean, I did like a lot of the points you guys brought up about them seeing themselves in each other and that they each have a little bit of that in them. And the point you brought up, Morgan, about like how actually showing that the guys also have emotion and that each person, no matter how everyone else views them as their life is perfect or not as bad as their own, have their own issues and problems and things they're going through and stuff like that stuff. I
Yeah,
think is
I
great
think
and
that
relatable.
the movie isn't really about kids being in detention and getting into trouble. I think the movie is about these characters who are all going through the same thing and how they connect in that way and how we all go through something and to not really judge somebody's experience or the other person's experience just on physical appearance.
That's what I wanted to say too, with when you were saying that there was no reason for them to burst out and everything, but they're teenagers who have a facade because, you know, they're being who they're seen as, and they're hiding everything that they're going through. And then it has little bits where it bursts through.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean-
been a tough day of nothing, and so that's bound to happen with teenagers and in that environment. I thought it
Yes,
worked.
teenagers are highly volatile.
Volatile.
Can blow at any moment.
I think
And I
it's
think, oh, go ahead.
I think it's a good example of how pain is relative, right? Like everybody is going through a tough time. It's, I don't even know how to say this. You know, Bender's is extreme, and Claire, you think she's got the perfect life, but she still has pain, and pain is relative. It's one of the things that I always say is pain's relative. It doesn't matter if what you think someone's minor pain might be, it's still pain to them. So it's still pain. And I think this is a good show of that everybody has pain points regardless of how their life might look from the outside.
Yep.
One of the scenes I really liked was a scene with Carl talking to the kids about, you know, how he's the janitor, but he sees everything that's going on, you know, and he tells the principal that, you know, the kids haven't changed. That's the principal that's changed. You grow up. And I think one of the huge appeals of this movie, you know, for those of our generation is that, you know, you're sticking it to the principal. I mean, all these kids, no matter where they're coming from, you know, they're all against the principal. And we see that too in like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, you know, that you have this, the principal is the evil character. You know, you don't see a good high school principal in any movie, at least not in this time period. You know, and so I think that's part of one reason that this film was just so popular, because you're acting out and you are succeeding to some degree. And that's some sort of, you know, the only agency you have as a teenager is to get the end round around the principal. I mean, that's like the highest school you've got, you know, until you get out into the real world. But I mean, that's like, does that make sense? I'm not articulating it very well, but
I think it came across well.
It did.
Also interesting is that you can, like, now that we're all grown up, assuming we're all grown up, you can rewatch this from the adult's perspective and still feel that, like, okay, Carl ended up as a janitor, but he's still got his own pride, and the principal, like, thinks that everybody hates him, so he's probably got hidden pain, but he's, like, you know, like trying to get beat up by the bully so he can release his aggression. So everybody's got something.
I think the
It
real
actually bothered me. Sorry, but yeah.
I think the real sage was the janitor.
Yeah.
He was the wise man of the movie.
Although he just says it all. Let me do, I don't know. But go. But agreed. But yeah.
Yeah, you got to
Go
be
ahead.
both extremes there, Vicky.
Yeah, it was the Vicky show for a little bit.
Yeah,
But-
that was fun.
Yeah.
Angel, you wanted to say he made you angry, threatening the kid.
It bothered me.
saying
Yeah,
that he-
he wants to beat up a 16-year-old kid. He's a principal. Like, I don't care how frustrating the kid is. You don't egg him on to try and beat him up.
So did the writer do a good job to invoke your emotion to not like the bad guy?
Yeah, but he felt fairly one-dimensional. So, I mean, they tried to bring out a little bit of that, I guess, in when he's trying to come up with excuses of why he's looking at the kid's history, but it's still.
And actually, I think he was looking at the other teacher's history.
He was?
Yeah, it was the other teachers.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah,
Um,
I got that impression, but
It did say Mr. something or something like that, right?
yeah, Mr. Treacle, something like that.
I I thought because they only say Bender, so I thought maybe it was his name, but his actual name.
But
I s-
you know what? He did use that way of speaking to them. Okay, Mr. Bender, that kind of thing.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it could have been the students.
I just read in more trivia. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Thank you.
That Rick Moranis was originally supposed to play the janitor, but
Mm.
he wanted to play it as like a funny Russian, and they were like, no, so they recast.
I respect him and I feel bad for him about like why he left the industry. Like, one more to be with his kids, but also he was tired of being like just portrayed as just like the nerd character and didn't want like his kids to kind of like only see him that way or this and that.
One thing that we discussed in college about this movie was rather the movie has a conflict and a resolution.
And what did you guys come up with, or what are your thoughts? Or should we
That
just discuss it first and then you tell?
I do think there's a conflict and a resolution in the film, like normal story structure.
What is
Anybody?
It almost seems like it's all conflict.
I,
I
I
thi-
totally agree, but go ahead.
I think that the labeling of the students, you're a jock, you're this, all of that, being put into categories, that's an issue. I don't know if it's a conflict, but in the end, they all know who they are. They know that they're a little bit of everything, and they've broke out of that stereotype.
Yeah. And for the fact that they each have kind of that little arc and stuff is what makes this more of a movie instead of like a weekly sitcom TV show, because they do all change kind of through it.
The,
It's
the
quite a
overall thing was that it was not a conflict that was an outside source, like in normal story structure. The conflict was inside themselves. And so at the end, the resolution is more so of how they healed themselves.
Right.
Angel?
just their stereotypes that they each are. The brain, the whatever, beauty queen, jock, whatever. It's all a way to hide. It's just a mask. So it's very easy to put on those stereotypes and not be seen, not be known, and hide in sight.
Or their attempts to fit in with whatever group they can.
Either way, both ways it's hiding. Fit in or wear the mask, it's still
And
hiding.
it's so crazy. Like, I want to say, or I think most people want to say, oh, we hate these stereotypes, or we don't want to see like things classified like that. But then we all mentioned, it seemed like it was kind of like that in my school. Like, that is the real world. That's what
Yeah, so
happened.
if you're an outsider from that group, you don't see the human, the person behind it. You just see the exterior. And that's very easy for people to judge without really getting to know.
And
Yeah.
for any young people watching, like, that's only, I didn't go to a normal college, so I don't know about college, but otherwise it's only normal high school, maybe college. But like, once you get out of that, then you're in the workplace and you have no clue which of those categories people fit in. You're all then meshed together.
Hmm.
Is
It's
that you guys'
interesting
experience?
because a lot of those cliques, it's like they end up, I see a lot of like the girls who used to be the popular girls and the outcast girls, they end up being friends because their kids are friends. And it's like those cliques kind of disappear when you realize that life isn't really like that.
Hmm.
And yet some things still carry on, like like even just the fact if you get into a line and someone cuts in front of you, I think people's gut reaction is still, hey, you cut in front of me. It's like, whatever, it's okay. But I think, some things that we developed in junior high and high school still carry with us through adulthood. Thankfully, not all of it, and thankfully not most of it even, I hope.
And something, I don't think we need to reveal what category we fit into, but each of us, when we were in high school, fit into one of the categories. So yeah, to think about that and go, hey, yeah, you would
Yeah,
never
Vicky,
guess,
I can
never
tell you
guess.
for the,
I don't know.
the
I would
job.
want to
I don't know how I would fit.
guess I had to have to ask the other people in high school. Like, I don't think I did.
Yeah. So is that
Criminal.
just because we know ourselves, or are we just blind to it? Or are the people that are in those blind to it?
I guess
Well,
it's when you're in one of those schools that have a lot of the cliques, maybe it's easier to see. Or maybe you're one of those people that just kind of friended everybody.
Yeah, I did that.
I feel like that is kind of how Brian is in the film, because he's like, he would be fine being friends with anybody. He doesn't really understand the cliques and why things have to be that way. But I think if you were like that, it might be hard to see, but I think a lot of schools did have those, like, these were the popular kids, these are the people you knew were going to be in the yearbook. Yeah.
I mean, my school definitely was like that, where we're unlike you guys, it was an outdoor school. So rather than have whatever you guys call them, halls and stuff. I mean, half of my school time was, but we had trees. So different groups would hang out around this tree, a different group would be around this tree and stuff.
Cool. Oh, here it would be different people hang around this igloo. Sorry, that was
Hey,
not
don't
fair.
perpetuate the stereotype. We have barely any snow left.
Yeah.
I
Which
was so
sled
high
dog
school
you
zoo.
is your favorite? Who
What was
gets
that?
along with the polar bear in the back?
Okay.
Who feeds them? Yeah.
I'm gonna ask.
Times, great memories. So nostalgic.
Oh,
Canadians.
Yeah. Snowshoeing up to school. Actually, we did
rotten.
have
You're
snowshoes.
rotten. You're rotten.
When I in middle of high school, when I moved to Michigan from California, I only owned one pair of pants. So I was standing in the snow
right.
waiting for a school bus wearing shorts. Just to like do stereotypes there. So
I'm so sorry.
I wasn't acclimated yet. It didn't bother me. Like, yeah. As soon as I arrived, one of my aunts like said, "What? We're taking you to Burlington Coat Factory," which I'd never heard before. They got me a down jacket and stuff.
Aw, that's the best.
That's what happened to me when I moved from Washington State with this very mild climate to Iowa, and it's like snowing in October. I'd never seen snow before in October. And the person I was like talking to is like, was from California, and he's like, I've never seen snow before, period. And then our third friend's like, yeah, you both need to go to Burlington Coat Factory, like tomorrow.
Never heard of it.
I saw snow on Halloween once and I was like, what is this obscenity? I was in Rhode
It's
Island.
the ghost dust.
Sounds like a nice coat factory. I'd probably go there.
No, and I went to a huge store,
Yeah.
huge. Yeah. All
Not
right.
actually a factory though, so don't get disappointed.
What?
It's not a
Factory?
It's not actually a factory.
Hmm.
So don't go disappointed.
But they
Don't
have
get-
down coats.
Yeah.
Jackets. So
Lots
I'm-
of warm coats.
Have you guys seen that meme? I just saw it the other day. A goose is chasing somebody with wearing a jacket. They're like, "What's in your coat? What's in your coat?" Like, yeah. So sorry. I thought it was way too hilarious when I saw it.
my kid is saying hello with fingers. Squeezing my head.
I need to go put my kid to bed.
All right. We should all put ourselves to bed. We're not going
My
to-
puppies have put themselves to bed.
I did wake up
Good
at 4 a.m. That might be a good thing.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't mean to. I just did. And then I stayed up.
My puppies are all
What is
so-
on your head? Oh, I know what that is.
There's a mouse pad.
Yep.
I don't know.
Your
I
little
must be getting tired. I get delirious when I get tired.
Nah.
But so, okie dokie, folks. This has been fun being in detention with you all and
It's good to see you guys again.
Show stuff.
We'll be back for a bit.
I have to show you. This is
All
how
right.
my dogs are watching. I don't know if we can see that. Can you see that? No.
It's kind of white blown
Aw.
out
Yeah,
a little bit.
that's too bad. They're all snuggled together on one little blanket in like a little triangle.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's very
you
cute.
can just post it on.
Yeah,
Totally.
I'll post it.
Yes.
You're
How
allowed
to
one
help
post a
me
week.
Table reads.
Yeah. If you guys like me didn't think I fit in a category, like Morgan said, maybe I'm wrong, and like Angel said, maybe I can't see myself or know myself. I'm gonna ask on Facebook groups, and then I'll put it in the comments of like what they say I was or in or whatever. So
I was a
moved
math
around so much,
nerd.
I don't even know.
I was a math nerd. I was a total nerd, and we moved around so much I didn't really fit anywhere.
mm,
But I hung out with the drama kids and I took dance with the popular girls. But I was a math nerd. That was me.
I was a drifter.
Mm.
I started in the back playing hacky sack, and then I'd get bored, go to tree, get bored, go to tree, get bored, go to tree, get bored. And sometimes hang out at different ones.
I think it
So-
depended on which school I was in. So I moved with my mom, then to my dad, and back and forth. And
Yeah, like I was a drifter too. I'd be interested to know how many people who end up in this industry are kind of like that.
interesting, creative.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of pop from here to there.
yeah.
We'll see. All right, then everybody, all of you ask, or if you all, I don't know. I
There
feel like
wasn't
some
an
feel
art-
like I know some. What?
There wasn't really an art person in there, artistic.
Mm.
I don't
No,
know.
Allie, she
Maybe
drew. She was
Allie.
drawing a picture.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I guess I was Allie.
And none of the rural kids either. I mean, this might be in a big city, but
Farm.
there was
Oh, yeah.
definitely none of the rural farm
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, and Allie, she was actually, or Allison was actually acting a good part of the time, pretending to be different things,
Mhm.
right?
Mm,
So she was the creative one of the group.
Yeah, you don't really know what
Right.
her home life is like.
Right.
quiet. Yeah, 'cause she lies all the time.
I was the painfully shy, easy to pick on kid.
Oh,
Wah, let me play my violin.
So we all talk so much now.
Pardon?
I said that's why we all talk so much now.
Yeah.
We were all
That's
quiet
right.
in high school.
That's right.
I liked school.
Well, then you
All
were
right.
I
there.
didn't like high school here, but I liked it everywhere else.
All right, Jacob's trying to shut us down.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
when
All right.
other people said different things, we said goodbye a few times. So yeah,
Yeah.
Right?
respect
Yeah,
everybody's
sure.
time.
All right.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Parting is such